Well, good morning, everyone. We have a tornado warning in effect right now into Palm Beach County. Again, a tornado warning in effect has just been issued for the western parts of Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, and up towards the Wellington area there. So you can see the box right there, and that is the tornado warning. It is just west of the turnpike. So into our far western suburbs, that's where we are seeing that tornado warning. In the meantime, control room, can you put the other camera in the weather center so I could go over to the Barron's computer and track the tornado as it works its way up towards the north. So in the control room, if we could switch on over towards the weather center, over towards the Barron's computer. All right, so again, folks, we do have that tornado warning in effect. Just keep Viper on the air, and I will just come over here. We'll zoom in, and we'll show you exactly where that tornado warning is. So there's 441. And there's Delray Beach. So it's really the western areas of Delray Beach, just west of 441. So if you live west of 41 into, again, the Delray Beach area and into the Boynton Beach area, that's where we do have the tornado warning in effect. The tornado warning goes through 8 a.m. So it does last for the next 45 minutes. So let's take a scan and see what we're seeing right now on radar. So we're going to switch on over from the rainfall to the winds. Now, Doppler radar, all right, so there it is right there. So it's just to the west of where the folks live. So right now it's over rural parts of Palm Beach County, but right on the edge. Either way, it's racing up towards the north, up towards the Wellington area. So as we zoom in, notice the red right there. That is where we do have that rotation. So the Hurricane Center, the National Weather Service, has issued that tornado warning. So it is west of 441, but if you live in anywhere west of 41, in Delray, in Boynton, over towards Lantana, Hyperlux, so in the western zones west of 441, now is the time to get into your safe space. You want to get into an interior room of your home. So that's where we do have the tornado warning working its way northward up towards Wellington. You don't want to be near any windows because these systems could knock over some trees, and those could knock over into your home and into your windows. So that's why it's always recommended to stay away from windows whenever you get the tornado warnings in effect. It's always best to be into an interior part of the room where there are no windows, maybe a closet or a bathroom or something of that nature. But it is affecting our far western zone, so it's right on the edge of where the folks live. But you can see it is starting to make its way northward into the Wellington area. So if you're in Wellington right now, you are under that tornado warning, and it does run through 8 a.m. So for the next 40 minutes or so, that's where we do have that tornado warning in effect. It's heading northward, so it's that rotation right there. This product that I'm showing to you, it's called the velocities. So not only does Doppler radar pick up rainfall, but it also picks up wind and the direction of the wind. So you can see that we do have a large blob of red right there, and that is where the rotation is happening, and that's where we do have that tornado warning in effect. So it does run through 8 a.m. It is working its way from south to north, and we do have a tornado watch in effect, not just us locally, but across the entire state pretty much, and that does run through 8 o'clock tonight. So we will be tracking isolated tornadoes, and we have another tornado warning, not in our viewing area, but you can see two have just spun on up, and there's another one just to the west of far western Palm Beach County, crossing currently across Alligator Alley, I-75. So we do have two separate tornadoes that the National Weather Service out of Miami is currently watching, and one will affect the Wellington area. So as we zoom on in, there's Wellington. It looks like it's approaching. Let's zoom in on some of these roads here. So right now it looks like it's approaching 50th Street South and South Road. Osley Road, is that how you pronounce that? Or 46 Lane South. So that's where it's approaching at the moment. So if you live south of 441 and west of 441 in the Wellington area, just know that there is a tornado heading in your direction, and it's probably a good idea to find a safe space within your home. And that does include areas where there are no windows, preferably an interior part of the house. a closet, a bathroom, something of that nature. So let's switch on over towards, I'm going to put on the reflectivity. We're going to go to our radar. So, all right, so there's the PTV radar. So in addition to seeing that rotation with this tornado warning, we're also tracking some very, very heavy rainfall. So you can see the rain is coming down at a very good clip. Notice right there at 441, that little circle that's starting to develop in western Lantana. That's actually our radar. So that's where the scan is happening currently at 441 at the end of Lantana Road. That's where our radar is. So the scan is picking up some very heavy downpours, a couple of lightning strikes too. Looks like it's moving to the north very, very quickly. So this looks like it's a good mover. You can see it racing from south to north pretty quickly, and it is producing some very heavy rainfall now. The good news is that it's okay, so let's check in with Jennifer, who's over at the Key. Jennifer, what are you seeing?
What we're tracking, of course, is that tornado warned cell, and you mentioned it's moving really fast. Definitely is. It is moving at a rate of 55 miles per hour. So it first was spotted where the first rotation was indicated on the radar over Kings Point, Delray Beach area, quickly moving northward. Now it's basically north of villages of Oriole. It continues to run basically parallel the core part of the thunderstorm, just west of the turnpike, right next to it. So it's going into eventually the Florida Gardens area and into Wellington. Wellington is included in this tornado warning. So if you are in Wellington, the Florida Gardens area, also any areas in between, you should remain where you are. If you're inside your house, just remain inside your house. Always make sure to remain away from windows because, again, right now we can't confirm that there's a tornado on the ground, but what we can confirm that there was rotation indicated by the radar. And so that potentially means that there could be a tornado that has touched the ground, and therefore, if there is one, potentially there could be debris flying around. So make sure you go into the most interior part of your home. If you live in a 2-story bedroom, go to your first level floor and stay away from windows. Go to a bathroom. Mostly bathrooms have the least amount of windows, or a closet, of course. And there is that warning. It looks like they're updating now. That's why it's flashing. If you notice, it kind of shrunk a bit. So now it's pinpointing basically into Wellington. If you take a look further down south, there's still the warning. So the actual core of the thunderstorm is basically south of Wellington. Now I'm going to actually try to put this into gear so I can go ahead and get a little closer there, just passing through my graphics here. There is that tornado watch box, but here we go. There's that tornado warning. So now I can do some interactivity. This is what I wanted to do, was basically take a look at that core right there. It is tracking towards the north. There's heavy rain that has spread out further inland, and that heavy rain is headed for Arden. If you look at the northwestern tip of this tornado warning does cover Arden, which means this is covering Southern Boulevard, a high traffic area. I know schools are out, thankfully, but some of us still have to go to work. So please be careful. If you were about to head out the door, just give yourself time. It's better to stay safe. Again, make sure that you stay safe. And we actually have a caller, a first alert weather spotter from Loxahatchee. Just give me his name again, Martine. Tom. Hey, Tom. I know who Tom is. Can you tell us a bit more of what you're seeing out there? Okay, we're going to get Tom on the line, and hopefully we could hear him soon, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to start seeing those gusty winds, of course. And with this tornado warned storm, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the warning here again. It is in effect until 7:30, so it's 7:26 right now. It'll be in effect till then, unless it still maintains its strength. That warning might be extended a little longer. So let me go ahead and take a look at that. It is moving towards the north at a fast rate at around 55 miles per hour. Now, it looks like we are going to continue to see that heavy rain pile up into the Arden area. I believe we do have Tom again, right? Is that correct? Tom, can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can.
Oh, hey there, Tom. Are you experiencing some increasing winds? I know you're in Loxahatchee. Tell us what you're seeing, what you're experiencing.
Okay, yeah. I just went outside and took a look, and I see some really dark clouds heading my way. I'm just a little bit north of Arden, and a lot of we just had some decent gusts come through, but it really hasn't arrived here yet.
Right.
And it's
Right. So the core of the thunderstorm where there could potentially be that tornado is located still to the southeast of you. You probably will start to get some heavy rainfall before the core of the thunderstorm does arrive. So again, you're probably starting to see maybe some rain pretty soon. I know you said some dark looking clouds. Have the winds picked up for you?
Right now, it's calm, but we'll wait a minute. I'm certain that they'll pick up. I think gusty would be a word for it.
Right. And so it's getting gustier, yes. So potentially this thunderstorm could still be producing that rotation, possible tornado. The wind gusts potentially around 50 plus miles per hour. Now, I'm reading here from the NWS Miami that the low-level rotation has weakened a little bit. So we're looking here at the velocity. So Tom, even though it's weakening, there's still going to be some strong wind gusts as the storm still is headed your way. So be safe out there, okay? And if, I know you take pictures, but please stay safe when you do so.
Oh, yes, definitely, definitely.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. We'll keep in touch. All right, so this is the velocity scope that I added on. I do want to bring in, if we can, Steve Villanueva to show us on the Viper the velocity radar, just to see if the storm has weakened a little bit. Now, with that said, taking a look at the time, it's 7:29, so we are still under that tornado warning. So, Steve, there you have that velocity. Tell us what you see.
I suspect that they're going to cancel the tornado warning as we head into the next 1 to 2 minutes. Not really seeing the couplet. When we were tracking the tornado this morning near Belle Glade, there was a very defined couplet on it. And that means that we were able to see the rotation very, very easily. It's a little bit more difficult now, so we'll see if they do extend that tornado warning. And again, we don't have visual confirmation of a tornado touching the ground. Just according to Doppler radar, thunderstorm was spinning. Now, keep in mind that whenever you do get a tornado, I'm going to go to our local radar, and I'll put it up on my weather computer. But if you live in the Treasure Coast, that's where we do have
the tornado warning. That's right, Steve. So if we can actually take in Viper, what we're seeing here is the radar on the BAM. I'm going to try to go ahead and zoom in on that, but Viper would be the best to show right now, our Viper radar, as it's just been issued at the moment, a tornado warning over Tradition, Port St. Lucie areas. There is that little small line of thunderstorms, but it is not little in the sense that it is pretty strong. So here we go. We are seeing basically the thunderstorm moving right over I-95. There it is, that core south of Tradition. I'm not sure till what time this tornado warning is in effect, but it was just issued. Typically these last for about 15 minutes. It is, I believe, that particular thunderstorm that is producing basically the rotation indicated by the radar. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the velocity radar right now as it moves into, continues to move northward into Tradition. So let's take a look at that base velocity on Viper. Just hang with me as I try to get this right now on Viper radar. We are continuing to track that tornado warning, and it's flashing because it was just recently issued. What's basically the areas that are covered is that northern end of Martin County, but it's mainly St. Lucie County. So here we go. If we take a closer look, thank you, Steve. Steve is actually circling it for me. Thank you so much. You got a little couplet there, right? And so we're looking at the velocity, the base velocity radar to show you why the tornado warning was issued. And it's because you got inflow and outflow right next to each other associated with that storm cell. And when that happens, that is what we call radar indicated rotation. It is not a confirmed tornado. Tornado is when a funnel cloud touches the ground. Unless somebody sees it, sends us a picture that there is a tornado, we can't confirm it just yet, but what we can say that there is a possible tornado. It is right now moving into Tradition as I speak. So if you're in these areas, Tradition, PGA Village, Port St. Lucie, even up into Fort Pierce on that northeastern end of the tornado warning box, please stay inside or seek shelter. You don't want to be outside, especially right now in Tradition. The core of the thunderstorm is moving right overhead. So what we're seeing, along with the fact that there could possibly be rotation, you're probably going to experience some very gusty winds right now in Tradition, some very heavy rainfall. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter. If you're inside any building or inside your home, the best thing to do is go into a room without windows, a closet, or even a bathroom in the tub. So basically stay away from windows, as there could potentially be some flying debris, right, Steve? Is there any way that we can actually, let's go back to the radar so we can show you more what it looks like. There we go. So there's that thunderstorm, and you can see circled right there. It is right now basically moving over to Tradition. And you know, it's right over the highway too, right over I-95. And that means that there's potentially some drivers out there not safe to be on the road at all. Obviously, these tornado warnings are popping up very quickly. This is why, one of the reasons why there were basically the decision made to close schools. Obviously, we can't close all the businesses out there, so I understand that some of you do have to head out. In Valencia K, Tradition, you're dealing with the worst of the weather right now. This particular cell is moving northward, possibly at a rate of 50 to 55 miles per hour, right over I-95. So there's Tradition just next to I-95, just on the west side. Here we go. And I'm just trying to take a closer look at where the highways are and the street names.
It's Tradition, Southwest Gatlin Boulevard, and it's the intersection with 95. So Tradition is just to the west, and then you can see Southwest Gatlin Boulevard. So right there, that's where we do have that tornado warning currently in effect. So keep that in mind. This is a populated area, and you want to certainly find your safe room as we speak, because this thunderstorm is rotating. Now, we don't have confirmation that it's hitting the ground, but we do have confirmation that it is spinning, and the potential is there that it is producing a tornado. Now, if we go back to the velocities, now the velocities basically tell us the direction of the wind. So it's a good tool to use whenever we want to track these type of systems. So there it is right there. So you can see the little couplet. I'm going to circle it, and we'll show you where it is, and it's right there. So notice in the last frame, you can see the little green and the red next to each other. That is just basically telling us that the red, wind's going away from the radar. The green, they're moving towards the radar. So whenever they're that close to each other, that's telling us that there's rotation in the atmosphere, and that is right by Valencia K, and this is right by Tradition. So this is where you want to get into your safe space as we speak, because the potential is there to have a tornado on the ground. And this happens to be right on top of I-95. And as we zoom on in, let me clear out the circle. And as we zoom on in, it's 95 and Southwest Gatlin Boulevard. So this is where we're seeing the rotation within that thunderstorm. Anything coming across the wires, Jen?
Yeah, so I was just told by my producer, Maya, that we do have our weather spotter, first alert weather spotter on the phone right now. Her name is Tyra. Hi, Tyra. You are in Port St. Lucie or Tradition?
I'm in Port St. Lucie.
Okay, do you see anything happening outside your window? Obviously, I don't want you to be next to a window, but did you notice any change, like wind directions, winds picking up?
The rain just started, and the wind just picked up just a little. It's been very calm here all morning.
Right. Yeah, it has been. So this quickly developed, these showers, and then quickly developed into stronger storms. Now, when you're around Port St. Lucie, you don't have to obviously give us exact location. Are you happen to be near the turnpike or closer to I-95?
Closer to I-95. I'm in the Torino Lake Circle area.
Okay, so right now this storm is tracking pretty quickly northward along I-95. So basically for you, you are closer to I-95, and that's where the core of the thunderstorm potentially, that tornado, if there is a tornado on the ground, it could be very close to your area. So you'll probably start to notice more of those winds increasing. I hope you're in a safe spot, correct?
I am.
Good. Okay, good. So yeah, make sure that you're staying away from windows. But tell us more what you are seeing, or if, you know, are you hearing thunder? Are you hearing winds kind of picking up? No?
This wind picking up, I hear no thunder, and the rain is light at this point.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like the rain, if you are, Tyra, east of I-95, it looks like the heaviest rain is just kind of edging the west side of I-95, and it can make a whole lot of difference even if it's just less than a mile away from you. But certainly, Tyra, thank you so much for calling in. Please stay safe, and you know, this warning will continue until 8:45, so it's best to stay sheltered. Again, Tyra, thank you so much for calling. Okay, so let's continue and track the tornado warning. So now what you see is the tornado warning is shrinking in size. The box, that's what I mean by that, is because obviously the storm continues to track northward. It's tracking very quickly, so these changes are very fluid. In tradition, you're no longer under the core. The core is right now over Verano area, Crosstown, Parkway, and also PGA Village. And what we are looking at here, this is not the rainfall, this is actually the velocity. So you got winds going into the storm, winds coming out of the storm, and when you have that so tightly put together like a couplet, it is an indication that there's rotation. Now we can't, obviously we can't see it visually, we don't want you to go out there to see it visually, but sometimes people happen to be out and about and can catch this on camera, unless it's rain wrapped. But we do expect, I'm going to walk over to Steve V. You were saying something, Steve V?
No, I was wondering if in the control room, if they could access any cameras along I-95 in this area. They're looking. All right, great. They're looking right now. But notice how quickly this cell is moving. So it's still rotating, and it quickly went from tradition into PGA Village, right on top of I-95. So currently, it is just north of Crosstown Parkway and heading up towards Glades Cutoff Road. So it's moving very quickly, right? If you live across Reserve Boulevard or just to the west of the Turnpike, you want to find a safe space as we speak. So if you're just joining us, we have a tornado warning in effect. This is for PGA Village. This system, this thunderstorm, is working its way northward very quickly. These are moving at about 50 miles an hour, but according to Doppler radar, it is rotating. So there's the potential that it is producing a tornado. We don't have any visual confirmation that a tornado is touching the ground, but nonetheless, you want to get inside your safe space. That means somewhere inside your home and away from windows, because these tornadoes could easily knock over trees, and those could fall on your home, fall through a window. That's why it's always recommended to stay away from windows whenever you have a situation like this. But it is moving across PGA Village very quickly, racing up I-95. Now, the severe thunderstorm and the tornado warning is issued until 8:45, and we're approaching that. So it will likely be, if we continue to see this couplet here, it will likely be extended. So we'll continue to watch this system. But there it is right there, racing northward along I-95 near PGA Village, heading up towards Carlton as well. So we'll zoom in just so you can see what roads are being affected. 95, Glades Cutoff Road, Crosstown Parkway, Verano, and just to the west of the Turnpike in the River Park area. So this is where you need to look for your safe space as we speak. So the tornado warning goes through 8:45, but the couplet is still there. It's starting to get a little bit weaker. So we'll see
Yeah,
see what
Steve.
happens.
So I'm reading.
Frames.
I am reading here on the National Weather Service of Melbourne chat. They're the ones that do service these areas in the Treasure Coast and parts of Central Florida and the Space Coast. So one of the forecasters did send a message that they're still watching the current warned storm in St. Lucie County, which is that tornado warning that you see right here for possible extension. So they're also seeing what you're seeing. That it looks like that couplet based off of the velocity radar, it is still put together, not really showing signs of weakening just yet. And because the fact that it's moving so quickly, you know, it's going to continue to move northward. They will possibly have to extend. It looks like they are extending that tornado warning because it's flashing. So instead of expiring at 6:45. We'll see here what they say up next. Might be extended for a little bit longer. So Steve V, we do expect basically this to continue to almost ride over the I-95 corridor, which, you know, unfortunately, there are probably some vehicles driving out there. But if you're not the one driving, you're watching right now, you are at home, of course, stay home and go to a room with no windows or the least amount of windows. And if you live in a 2-story house, go to your first level. If you live in an apartment building, obviously just stay in your apartment, but go into the interior part of your apartment. Steve V, could you go ahead and zoom in?
Sure.
And I'll go ahead and toss it to you so you can show us a little more of where it's headed.
Yeah, it's heading northbound right along I-95. It looks like it's starting to pull away from the PGA Village area. It looks like it's right on top of Carlton as we speak, and it's approaching Midway Road. So if you live anywhere along Midway Road, 95, the Turnpike, you're going to want to find your safe space because we do have a rotating thunderstorm that may be producing a tornado. So you can see that the box has been extended. So the National Weather Service has extended this tornado warning, and the next one expires at 9:15. So it has been issued for the next 30 minutes. So it has been extended for the next 30 minutes, 9:15, the new tornado warning, and it is heading northward, and it looks like it's going to eventually cross the county line over towards, or at least very close to Indian River County. So we'll see if it makes it that far north. So it looks like the extent of the new box is right on the county line, Indian River County and St. Lucie County. But the system, the rotating thunderstorm, there it is right there. So it's pretty much in the center of your screen. It's just north of PGA Village. Let's zoom in a little bit further. So we'll give you some roads that will be affected. They include Midway Road and a little bit farther north, Matthews Road. We've got Shin Road, Godfrey Road, Orange Ave. If you live along Orange Avenue next to the Turnpike, next to I-95, again, you do have a rotating thunderstorm heading your direction. That means that a tornado may be on the ground. We don't have any confirmation yet of a tornado touching the ground, but at least according to Doppler radar, the severe thunderstorm is rotating. So it may be producing a tornado and it may be touching the ground, and it is heading northward and it's moving very, very quickly. Now, all of this is rotating around Hurricane Helene. Now, we are in the part of Helene that has the best rotation available, and that is in the northeastern quadrant. And we are in that quadrant, and we've been tracking tornadoes not just locally, but over towards the Gulf Coast as well. In fact, we had one tornado that went from Alligator Alley all the way up through the lake, and you see that last box on the left, the red one, right just to the west of Okeechobee. They finally canceled that tornado. So that one went from Alligator Alley all the way up to just west of Okeechobee. So we do have the potential of seeing these isolated tornadoes throughout the day today. So let's put it back on radar and we'll show you the rainfall. Yeah, the rain is coming down very, very intense right now. But notice how quickly this cell is moving. You can see that not that long ago, it just crossed the county line through Tradition, PGA Village, and now it is racing towards the north. So that's it right there. It's just to the west of the Fort Pierce area. Again, some of the roads that are affected with this cell, they include 11 Mile Road, they include Midway Road, it includes 95 and the Turnpike. We'll put it back onto Velocity. Now, Velocity, we use it's a tool that dissects the winds within this storm cell. So we're going to go towards, okay, so there it is right there. And it looks like it's still, yeah, we're still seeing the rotation. I'm going to circle the rotation so you have a better understanding of what it looks like and what we're seeing. So it's right there. That's the rotation. And that is where we may potentially have a tornado on the ground as we speak. I'm going to clear the drawing, and then we're going to zoom in a little bit farther. So right now it looks like it is working its way just north of Midway Road. So it's between Midway Road and Route 70. So if you live in between Midway Road and Route 70, you definitely want to get into your safe space because we do have this system moving on through your area. In the meantime, Jen, what are you seeing over there?
I'm so sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but we do have Victor on the line. He is in Stuart. And so, Victor, if you can hear me, say hello.
Yeah, hey, good morning. I can tell you right now we're around 20 miles or so away from the Port St. Lucie area, which right now is dealing with that tornado warning. We're in a marina in Stuart, and as you can see, it's really two stories. Right now, we're dealing with some calm conditions. There is some movement on the water, but it's really nothing really that, scary or remarkable. The wind gusts right here, right now, they're between 9 and 11 miles per hour. Now, if we start panning right a little bit, you'll first see some boats here, and then as you see the flag all the way to our right that says open, you can definitely see that there is some wind going on here. We can also hear that wind howling. Those two folks that you see there, they've been here basically all morning. They're getting their boat ready. They're trying to make sure that everything is safe. We've seen a lot of people doing that this morning, but really here we're also seeing the clouds moving really, really fast. The clouds are getting darker and darker as the day goes on. For the majority of the morning, we were kind of in between bands, but this really feels like the most severe of the conditions that we've seen thus far. Again, those wind gusts coming in at around 11 miles per hour right now. This area was expected to feel between 30 and 40 miles per hour at the worst later today. So really, right now here at this marina, even though we are the closest to the Port St. Lucie area dealing with that tornado warning, things are pretty calm here. Guys?
All right, thank you, Victor. And as we continue to track this tornado-warned storm, it's quickly moving northward. And so as it continues to move northward, what we're seeing here, those flashing boxes, the outline in red, that indicates tornado warning. But you also see them being moved further northward. It's following the storm, obviously. And Steve Villanueva was showing us that base velocity radar. It is a good way that it is a tool that's used to indicate, to look for that rotation. And there we go, we have it on. So what this is showing, it's not showing us rain. What it's showing us are the velocity, the winds that are going into the storm, out of the storm quickly. And when you see it there side by side, look how the red at the end of the loop there, when it pauses, are side by side, the red and the green. That is what's called a couplet. That is a clear indication of rotation on the radar, which could also tell us that there's a possible tornado. Okay, we have a traffic camera here in Port St. Lucie. This is this is mile marker 135 on the Turnpike, I believe, or I-95. Oh, I-95. So this is I-95. Mile marker 135 in Port St. Lucie. Obviously, this storm is producing very heavy rainfall. So what happens is, if there is a tornado, it's probably going to be hard to see because it'll be rain wrapped. So that makes it even more dangerous. I believe, Maya, our producer, we have Mark in Tradition. So Mark, hey, this is Jennifer Correa. I know that the core of the storm has already pulled away from Tradition. Did you notice anything when the storm was moving over you?
Yes, I'm actually in the hospital, and I'm on the 4th floor, and you could see the rain and the wind picking up really strong outside. I was able to see the traffic on Gatlin Boulevard, and then the alarm went off on my phone giving me warning, and when the warning came off, they came and rushed into everyone's rooms, made us move away from the window. My nurse Madison made us move away from the window and move the beds away from the window, shut all the doors, to take shelter.
Right, right. Oh, that is a good thing. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're in the hospital. I hope you're okay. But again, even the hospital, of course, taking action once that tornado warning was issued. So, do you have any family or friends also in Tradition?
My sister lives actually about a block away from the hospital, and I haven't heard from her yet. I'm hoping she's okay, her and my nephew.
Yes. Oh, okay. So hopefully you'll be hearing from them soon, and maybe they could tell you if they notice any dramatic changes in the weather, because typically what happens is, it'll be pretty quiet before the storm arrives, and then all of a sudden the winds just turn around. They increase really fast. But Mark, thank you so much for calling us. Stay safe.
Yes, and I want everyone else in the area to stay safe as well.
Thank you, Mark. And again, there is on the right side of the screen, the bigger box, that is the velocity radar, and we have circled there the storm. That is the core of this thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado. The tornado warning continues to be issued further northward as the storm tracks northward. It is tracking roughly at a rate around maybe 40 to 50 miles per hour. Thank you, Steve. He just circled it. Steve, could you zoom in closer to see exactly where the core of that thunderstorm is, where we're seeing that couplet?
Yeah, you can see it's moving over a neighborhood, Orange Avenue right now. So basically Orange Avenue and the Turnpike just west of 95. If you're in this area, please head into your safe room. So if you're just joining us, we do have a tornado warning in effect right now. And you can see right there, that's the tornado as it works northward. It's moving very, very quickly. We're talking about 40, 50 miles an hour. So it is just really moving along. And you can see that it is approaching the turnpike where it starts to bend and go westward in St. Lucie County before it starts to head up towards Indian River County. So that's where it's heading right now. So if you live in this neighborhood, certainly seek your safe space as we speak. So that is the turnpike. That is 95. It's Angle Road. It's Orange Avenue. That's where we have the tornado right now. Now, we don't have any confirmation that the tornado is on the ground, but we can tell via these tools that it is rotating. So the potential is there for a tornado to be on the ground. So just to be on the safe side, you certainly want to head into your safe space. Inside of your home, a closet, a bathroom, something that doesn't have a window. You want to head there now if you live in this area. Again, that is West Angle Road and Orange Avenue, just to the west of the Turnpike and just to the west of 95. So do we have that picture up, Jen? I think that's what they just told me in my ear. What are you seeing over there?
Yeah, so we have, here is the turnpike, the camera out of the turnpike in Orange Avenue, and there you see that digital sign, severe weather warning, use caution. I've been seeing a lot of trucks, the big trucks, the rigs, and they can easily be, especially if the winds are strong enough under a severe thunderstorm warning, or like what we have right now, tornado warning, is dangerous for those vehicles to be out there. Obviously, there's still people working, and those truck drivers, they got to go and